Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for the original Season 2, Episode 10. Gonna set you a flag on fire. I'm your host, Dom. With me is my still stunned co-host from our pre-show, Omikins.
Yo.
You know, she was face palms through the entire intro musics.
She was. Down below is Heather. And in the corner, adjacent to me, kitty corner to me, is Mike, who apparently wants to bash his brains in with a D20 dice.
This D20.
Yeah.
It's big enough.
It is
That's
big
what she
enough.
said.
It's big enough because your brain is like...
So, how is everyone this evening?
Apparently, I have a tiny brain.
You should probably get that checked out.
After the pre-show, I seriously, it shrank.
Yeah. If you guys don't watch us live currently, you can check us out on our YouTube channel. Make sure I'm actually going to stay on top of getting the live events up this time, so make sure you go there.
Wait, he's that way.
And check it out, because, we will have these up way, way, way in advance now. Anyway, so what do you guys think of this episode?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I was shocked that I honestly didn't know it was starting this week until Omi, loaded it up on Hulu, and I was just like, all right, that came back this week.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice surprise. I enjoyed it.
I expected, Finn to not be such a badass and use his mom and dad as fuel. That was a very big surprise for me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, Finn
that one
is definitely shaping up to be a very, very interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
That one did catch me by surprise. Channeling his father, and then, hey, for the hell of it, let's get Mommy Dearest in there, too.
Yeah.
It was really kind of a shock, and then, because, what was it, just before the break, we had gone over what would Finn do if his mother actually became a vampire? Like, how would he react? Mm-hmm. Would he still be the mama's boy, or would he take her down? And that speech that he gave to her was very, poetic, almost, he had, this poetic quality about him, and he still took her out, right?
I don't think she's out. She's not dead.
I don't know. That's the thing.
Disabled, channeled. She's not dead. I don't think
she's being channeled right now for power.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
but are they alive, or is he channeling through their corpses?
Who did he channel previously? Didn't he channel Elijah? No, not him. Didn't a witch channel Elijah at one point last season? Am I remembering this wrong? I remember Elijah laying unconscious in a pentagram circle.
Elijah was cooped up with Davina for a while.
Or was it Rebecca?
Somebody.
Last season.
Rebecca.
I remember.
I think the only thing with Elijah was he was strung up and the mother was torturing him, but I don't
Someone was
remember.
channeled last season.
Elijah was cooped up with Davina last season, but he wasn't channeled. He was just being held
Yeah.
in the attic of that church, the massacre church.
Maybe he's being crossed over from Vampire Diaries and just remember something different.
It very well could be.
Yeah, I don't know. Someone was channeled like that in a previous episode. I swore it was Elijah, but...
Right, so you guys think that he's... both Michael and Esther are still alive?
They don't look dead. Their skin's, discolored. It's gray, and, they're laying there motionless, but... we all know you can't kill Michael like that, and she has the same color kind of on her, so I think they're just kind of in a slumber, and he's sucking every bit of energy out of them, and since they're immortal, it's not going to end.
Yeah, with I was kind of surprised. See, I thought they were dead this whole time, and I was shocked that it took Finn, of all people, to take them both out. But if that's the case, if they're still alive, then hopefully we haven't seen the end of them, because I really have enjoyed seeing them around this whole season. It's actually been really refreshing.
I'm not a Esther fan, but having Michael around was interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But do you think Finn is actually going to start acting like his own person now that he's not bound by, the confines of his mother?
He's starting to, or he was starting to already, a little bit.
I don't know. I think his mom still has a lot of influence on him, and he's just making mad decisions right now. He's raging, and it's because his mom
was captured and now is a vampire.
Yeah, he's mad, and it's because his mommy. His mom's not telling him what to do, but he's doing things because of those things.
Yeah, he's still going to go on his whole eliminate all vampire rampage, but he's going to use his parents, channel through them for the time being, and once he's done with them, then kill them. Or figure out a way to kill them.
Yeah. I mean, he really was a badass this episode. Like, he channeled their essences or whatever, the case is. He channeled it into this boundary spell around the entire French Quarter, like the Mikealson house in the French Quarter. And trapped the vampires and werewolves in. And then he went in with what I'm assuming was some kind of, like, hex bag type curse or whatever that he, like... I don't think there's hex bags in this universe, but just got off watching Supernatural and hex bags fresh in my mind. But like he wanders in there, he like crosses into their house and like basically slaps them in the face, and he's almost untouchable. Like nobody even attempts to do anything to him there. He just walks in and out freely, and then the He locked them in and gave the vampires this insatiable bloodlust. Like, worse than when they transitioned in the first place.
Effective strategy is effective.
Yeah,
that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
He is just... I didn't expect this out of Finn. When we first met Finn in the Vampire Diaries, he's this little whiny mama's boy.
Mm-hmm. And when he came back for this season, little whiny mama's boy. I mean, he wasn't much different, and now it's just bam. He's kind of badass.
Yeah.
If only he had been a badass while he was still, a vampire guy.
I think he's more deadly now. I think he's more of a force to be reckoned with now than he ever would have been as a original vampire. Because even the spell that he's channeling, the thing he's casting right now, both Cole and Davina couldn't even take it out. They were able to disable it for a minute. But this shield is still up by the end of the episode.
Yeah, it wasn't even that. They just completely nullified all magic.
Right.
It was just a blanket shut all magic off for a minute thing.
It was basically what was going on inside of Mystic Falls this whole last half season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's
basically
one
was.
of those.
Yeah.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it didn't revert vampires back to humans or anything like that, but it disabled
magical objects and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of. Then we had Cammy, right? The very beginning of this episode opens up with Cammy going to, with Klaus going to see Hope, and they reveal Hope is alive. Is Klaus getting too careless?
No.
I don't think so.
He's learning to open up and trust people that matter.
He also said this secret doesn't leave here with you, implying that he's going to compel it out of her.
And she didn't have any problem with that.
She was perfectly okay with that.
Yep.
But you know that nothing ever stays good here.
Oh, of course not. That's just the whole, overarching theme of both of these shows.
And that's why I'm saying, is Klaus too careless? Because you take all that, but when it comes down to it, somebody's going to find a way around it.
Right. As the viewer, back here, yes, he's too careless. From Klaus's point of view, no, he's not.
Trying.
He brings her in on the secret. He's trying to be open, whatever.
Yeah.
But when she does leave, he's going to say, "You saw nothing."
Yep.
Turn around.
What is he, a Jedi?
Yes.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Exactly.
How many times has he done that to people?
Every time.
They've done that since episode 1 of the Vampire Diaries. They've been like, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, they use them for what they need to. Get all the use out of them. Turn them around. Droids, what droids? Shove out door.
Yeah. I mean, there's another, vampire universe that does pretty much the same thing. I'm just not going to bring it up because it's kind of shitty.
Oh. I'm curious now.
True Blood?
Yeah, they compel people.
Kind of shitty, as in the show you used to love and got me to watch?
Okay, look,
No,
that
I
show was
haven't
good
watched the last
until-
3 seasons completely.
Yeah.
I watched an episode here and there and go, why did I watch that? It's so stupid.
Yeah, we didn't watch the final season.
I stopped at season 3.
Used
when
to
the
be a
werewolves
good
came in.
show.
Yeah, whenever the werewolves came in, and I even pushed myself to get through season 2 with those weird.
That weird horn lady.
Yeah,
season
whatever the hell that
3.
thing was.
Season 3 was my favorite season, and then it just started.
Yeah. Anyway, I love this universe, the Vampire Diaries Originals universe, because they do vampires right.
They do.
This is what vampires are supposed to be like. They don't melt with silver and all that dumb bullshit.
Oh no, a cross.
Holy water.
Oh, no.
It's drinkable.
It's drinkable.
It's drinkable. That's my
Garlic.
favorite line with Stefan.
Garlic is, it's good for cooking, Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Garlic.
What'd you guys think about the whole Haley Jackson situation? Heather, what did you think about that specifically?
Haley Jackson.
Haley Jackson. What do
I'm not.
what do you call that like when you merge the names, you splice them together? You know,
I have
Jackson?
no idea.
like Brangelina? Like, how do you merge Haley and Jackson? What do you get? Haxon?
Jackie.
Exactly.
Jackley? Okay, I like Jackley.
Jackley. Yeah, we could deal with Jackley.
I like Jackley.
We can do that. Not a fan.
Not a fan of Jackley?
No.
What about
It's cute. I mean, at
It's
the end,
cute.
he's a nice guy.
what about Elijah?
Elijah?
You like Elijah better?
Mostly because I want to see Elijah. I almost said it. Mostly because I want to see Elijah actually get some tiny drop of happiness out of this.
But
That's
Elijah,
the only reason.
on the original, I don't watch the originals. Does not. There's no relationship thing going on in the originals that makes me go yes, this is why I watch the show, because original's not. It's not Vampire Diaries. Vampire Diaries drives on the relationships between characters. Originals.
Vampire
doesn't
Diaries
have
really focuses on 27 different love triangles at a time.
Right. And originals, they hook up. That's it. It's not a major focus. So
Yeah.
I kind of just skim right by them. Just okay, so they're going to hook up, whatever.
Yeah. See, Jackson is kind of under the impression that this is going to be an actual marriage, right? That they're devoting themselves to each other. They're really going to do this, and that's because they love each other, and they're doing it not only for their tribe of werewolves, their pack, whatever you call them, but they're doing them for themselves as well. And Haley, she's still deeply in love with Elijah.
She's
and-
just in it to make the connection so that their packs are free of the witches and of their curse and stuff. That she just wants that fixed. She doesn't care about Jackson.
Right, but I'm
I
under
mean,
the
she
impression
cares.
that this ceremony, right, that's going to merge their powers with their whole pack, is not going to happen unless they're committed to each other. That was the impression I got when they first explained this.
I kind of got a similar impression, it's not just a ceremony, a spell for convenience or anything like that. It's you actually have to be devoted to each other and to the whole, thing.
Right.
It's exactly the way Jackson envisions it, and Haley is going to be screwed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Haley still loves Elijah.
Yep.
And then she kind of fessed up to Elijah. I mean, was this the right thing? I mean, fessed up to Jackson about Elijah. Was this the right thing for her to do?
Probably not. It's probably going to bite her in the ass later.
I mean, at the end of the episode, he's like, I'm sorry I acted that way, and, the way I reacted was wrong. And then he gives her a ring. after she said, she's like, if I ever hear the word ring again, I'm just gonna like explode. I don't even remember what she said. Something along those lines. He's like, well, maybe one more time, and he's all sweet and stuff and gives her a ring, and she's like, well, that's kind of cute, kind of. I'm gonna grin because it's nice. It's a nice gesture.
Smile and nod.
I feel like this is definitely going to play out the whole rest of the season. I don't think that this story between them is going to come to a head anytime soon. I think it's going to kind of be this back and forth and kind of misunderstanding of what they actually are for, I'm going to say, the better part of the next 8 or so episodes.
Yeah, I don't expect to see this ceremony become a thing until the second to last, or if not the last episode this season, if it even happens at all.
Right.
Something could completely derail it between now and then. I mean, we're only halfway through.
Look at Finn. He's ready to derail everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Finn's, he's...
At this point, he doesn't give a shit about the werewolves that were under witches' powers. He's like, just kill them all. I don't want to deal with any other supernatural being other than witches. Those are the only people that matter.
Right.
Yeah. The other big relationship that's kind of been going on, which actually I think is a much better relationship than Haley and Jackson, is Josh and Aiden.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of awkwardly sweet.
It is. It is. Yeah. And I mean, it's a big step for a show like this because you don't have a lot of same-sex couples on television these days. And especially when you do, it's usually not guys.
No, it's usually females.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely took a bold step, and I appreciate the fact that they're doing this.
It's nice because, I mean, what shows do we have where we have male same-sex couples? I mean, Glee? Didn't Glee have a couple?
Yeah.
Still does.
Yeah.
I haven't really watched Glee, so... And then we have... What else?
I can't think of a single one.
Yeah.
I don't watch Glee, so I didn't even...
So,
we
watched between, all of us on the ASOTV crew, we watch so much TV, and we cannot think...
Yeah.
We cannot think of a male couple, same-sex male couples. We cannot think of any of them except for a show that we do not cover or barely even watch.
Right.
Glee, Originals, Game of Thrones. That's all I got.
Game of Thrones,
Game of Thrones, yeah.
Yeah, but Game of Thrones has brother sister. They've
gone.
Yeah, they got it. They're the whole different ball game.
Brother on sister, cousin on first cousin.
I mean, they're taking Game of Thrones to the freaking IMAX theater this season, so I mean, it doesn't even count as a TV show anymore. So just disregard.
We're gonna push that. That's off on HBO. We're gonna push that one to the side. I mean, as I said, brother sisters going at it. Yeah, they broke the mold. They're done.
Yeah, but do you guys see this relationship between them lasting very long? Because they do have the whole Romeo Juliet kind of story going on of the star-crossed lovers bound by different factions. Basically, it's really a retelling of Romeo and Juliet.
Except Romeo, will eat Juliet alive.
The thing is, with this universe, the Vampire Diaries and the originals combined, we know that relationships don't ever stick.
Right.
Even as confident as the people are, and it seems like it's stable, it breaks at one point or another.
Yep.
And so, as stoked as I am for Josh and Aiden, I'm sorry, it's gonna end.
And when that was Aiden who cut his arm, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Aiden, cut his arm, and Josh is looking at him like,
noms.
oh yeah, I forgot. Romeo will eat Juliet alive, and Juliet is poisonous to Romeo.
No, they can. It's the venom in their teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you get my point.
Mm-hmm.
You're so wrong.
You're still wrong, Mike.
I understand what you meant, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
For once, Mike, I will side with you. For once.
I'll take what I can get.
I mean, can you even see blood? Because you're colorblind.
Shut up.
Here we go.
So, yeah, I mean, that's my biggest concern is just the fact that these relationships typically don't last very long across any of these kind of shows, especially in the Vampire Diaries universe. But it's also really interesting because both Josh and Aiden are like the most likable characters on their faction.
They are.
You know?
They really are.
It's like, I like Aiden more than any other werewolf on the show.
Because he's not a bag of dicks.
That's true.
He's not a bag of dicks.
I mean, all of the other werewolves, in some way, shape, or form, are assholes.
Yeah. I mean, even Jackson.
Even Jackson.
But they're
Look
so
at
much
What was his
fun.
name? No, Oliver, not Opie.
Ollie. Yeah, Oliver. Like,
Opie.
I actually really liked
Completely
Oliver.
different show, bro.
God damn. Okay, I'm good.
Sorry.
I liked Oliver, aka Oliver Twist.
Yeah. But yeah,
Got his
Aiden
head
is definitely
twisted
the
off
most
his head.
likable werewolf so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been really cool. Then my favorite character, Rebecca. She's still trapped in witch prison.
Yeah.
We find her, you know, not eating these magic suppressing pills that they've been like feeding her. Like, this is being run like, you know, that hospital on the latest Nightmare on Elm Street, you know, where they're feeding them the sleep deprivation or the dream deprivation pills.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I mean, is it just me, or are you guys loving this whole inside of the hospital thing?
It's kind of cool. I like it. It's an interesting twist on it.
Yeah,
It's
I like
very
being able to
interesting.
see. I like being able to see this part that they don't ever talk about. It's always been there. It's always been this big mystery, and now finally we're inside of there, looking around.
Yeah.
I'm more curious about the hospital itself. Like, one, it's, you know, for crazy witches. So are the orderlies witches? Can
Yes,
they
they are.
leave?
They're
or
called
are they...
They're called the Kindred.
They're called the
Oh,
Kindred.
yeah,
they're
that's
locked
right.
in there, and they just took over because they're the most powerful out of all the
Alright,
witches
that
that are
was
in there.
it. Okay, I don't know why that just left me, but alright, that answers that.
Yeah. And then we see Rebecca gets like this haunting of a ghost, which I think it was TV.com or something like that. I was reading a review that they had written, and they said the ghost of Avril Lavigne was haunting her. And I had to laugh, because now that I look back on it, it really did kind of look like Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
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 I
know.
can see it.
You know, so she was like following Avril Lavigne through all these hallways and stuff until she gets to this locked door. And then the door just kind of creeps itself open, and we're introduced to a nice glass casket, you know, that's hidden away in this room, which later in the episode is revealed to be Freya.
Yeah. I
Which-
called it like 10 seconds before, and Mike's like, "Yup."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yep. As
wait.
soon as the first letter moves into place, she goes, "Oh my god, it's Freya." And then the second one goes, and I'm like, "Yup."
I mean, I just find it a little convenient that Freya just
Yes.
happens to be in New Orleans
Yes.
after
Thank
these
you.
people are all over the place. However, they did start in New Orleans. That's where they're well, I can't say they started,
No,
but that's
no.
where the original like Klaus,
Yes.
you know, they migrated to.
They're
They
not
were
even-
in like
You're talking about convenience. Freya was gone before all of the Mikealson children were even born.
Yes.
So that was back in what? The thousands? 1060 something or whatever, however far back that was.
Long time ago.
Yeah. So
Long time ago in a galaxy far, far
gone,
away.
completely gone for almost 1,000 years now. And of all of the places for her body to be interred in this very large planet of ours, which is very fucking big if you think about it,
It's
just
huge.
happens to be a witch prison in New Orleans. I'm calling, you know, written in for convenience of storytelling.
I mean, I think they're going to explain it at some point. They're going to give us some logical reason as to why she's there, but at the moment, it just seems a little too coincidental,
Yeah,
I
it
have to
does.
agree.
you know?
Yeah.
But
Like, why would you put a witch prison in the middle of the, like, busiest city where you know that there are vampires and witches running around and werewolves? Why not go take her out to the middle of, like, Area 51 and just put it there?
Right. So, are we under the impression that Freya was the one that was moving the block? She spelt out her own name, right? So when
That's what I got.
that's what I got out of that. So
Yeah.
when Rebecca and the
Cassie.
the Harvest Witch, Cassie, was that her name?
Mm-hmm.
When they channeled the thing and sent it out, I guess Freya intercepted that. And
Must
she said,
have.
"Who are you?" or whatever, and she said, "I'm Rebecca Mikealson," you know. Yeah, so Freya was the one that intercepted that message. But we know that Freya was taken by Esther's sister, Dahlia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Dahlia's nearby?
I was actually going to bring that question up. What the
was
hell?
actually
I
thinking
mean,
about this.
we haven't gotten anything except Dahlia took Freya. Freya didn't die. Dahlia took her. And that was the last we heard of it.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to Freya. We don't know if she lived with Dahlia and that was that, or, you know,
See-
like her sister Esther, she was unable to bear children, so she said, "I'm just going to take yours because this is the deal, and I'm going to raise her."
Did Dahlia teach Freya to be a super witch? Because everybody was...
I'm thinking it's more on the lines that Dahlia is the leader of the kindred.
That would actually make sense. I guess a little.
We're talking about witches here. Making sense doesn't make sense.
You're right. I mean, because you think back, we were given Esther's this amazingly powerful witch, and then we're given, you know, Dahlia introduced this season, and the impression we're given is that Dahlia makes Esther look like an idiot when it comes to witchcraft. So I still stand with my Dahlia's still alive thing. Has to be.
It has to be. Like, she's got to be sitting back somewhere just kind of watching.
Well, if she wasn't sitting back the whole time watching, she came back when Hope was born. Or conceived.
Right. And I think that was definitely like the trigger for it, and that very well may be the reason why Freya is there. If Dahlia's been following them or overseeing, you know, something along those lines, she could be carting Freya around with her. Freya may not have been sitting in this house the whole time. You know, this just may have just been something that Dahlia, you know, kind of like what Klaus used to do. Is every time Klaus would move around, he'd lug his brothers and sisters' coffins with him.
And Freya does seem very ghost-like at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's possible that Dahlia's channeling her to stay alive. Random theories.
Or she could be doing exactly what Esther was doing and body jumping, and she's actually Dahlia. Freya is Dahlia. I mean, and she's just kind of slumbering right now because she's, you know, surviving.
That would be interesting.
She's pretending to be Freya, hopefully to get on the good side of people.
Yeah, for sure. See, with all this, with having Rebecca now being trapped in another body is kind of a really interesting way for the actress to be able to take some time off, but them to keep the character on the show. Because we knew at the end of last season, Rebecca wanted to go take some time off from acting. She said she would appear here and there, but it wasn't going to be a constant thing. But she wanted to go spend some time with her family, you know, Claire Holt. So while Claire is taking a break from the show, you know, we have this new actress basically playing the character, and I do appreciate the fact that they've given her the same type of accent, you know, and she does a really good job of portraying that Rebecca Mikealson sass. So, you know, I really appreciate that, but I think it's a nice little loophole to keep the character fresh around and not just like off screen for the duration of Claire's absence.
Yeah.
I like it.
So,
Because, keeps things going.
yeah, I really appreciate that. It's the same thing with Cole. I much rather would have Nathaniel
Boozlik.
Boozlik. I can't ever pronounce his name. I'd much rather have him on the show than whatever. I don't know the actor that plays the current Cole, but I don't dislike this Cole either. Like, I really do like him, but I will always prefer Nathaniel over him.
I have to agree.
So
It's kind of like people, you know, saying, "Oh, my first Doctor, I love my first Doctor." Well, you know, Nathaniel was your first Cole, so there you go.
And to clarify, Omi is not talking about her pediatrician. She's talking about Doctor Who.
Doctor Who, sorry. I thought, you know, since we're on a TV show podcast,
I'm just,
it would kind of...
I understood what you meant.
You know what? I didn't get the connection there. I thought you were meaning like doctor.
So did I for a
But
half second. Then I remembered,
watch-
like, all right,
I don't
Doctor
watch
Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
a CF.
just gotta clarify for some people out there that may
Gotcha.
not know. Then I should have looked this up before. We had during for those of you that didn't watch, there was a mini-series that aired on the web. We actually did a separate podcast for it called The Awakening, the original's Awakening. And in it, we were clarified on something that we flubbed on, and I just want to go back and correct for the record. Dodgy Danny said that Astrid isn't the girl that Rebecca jumped into. She's 100 years older than the girl Rebecca is in. They don't even look similar. I think it was just, we had watched the episode like 2 days before, and then did not watch the miniseries until 2 days later, watched the miniseries, and then jumped right into the podcast. So I think there's a lot of confusion there, and we were just like, oh, okay, that's the girl, which it was not. So
it wasn't,
thank you, Danny, for correcting us on that.
Thank you. I mean, it was just like in succession, we just watched like that, and then we just automatically just made that connection, probably because she had the same kind of hair. And
you see, what happened was Dom is a slave driver, and he doesn't let us watch certain things until he says so.
Wow.
Whoosh. Bitch cracks that whip.
Yeah.
If I had somewhere to go, I'd go there right now because I want to be part of this.
You can come in here if you want.
No, because then I'd still be on the screen. No way.
I have to
I'll move
hide
over.
now.
So do you guys have anything else for this episode before we go into next week that you want to talk about?
Well, there was that whole like Elijah Cammy thing.
Oh, I did. Yes, I forgot the Elijah Cammy Trivial Pursuit.
That was hilarious.
Why has Elijah not gone on Jeopardy yet?
It's the lights. I don't blame him. The lights.
Right?
Would be...
Yeah, like
I mean, they kind of have to keep themselves like. There's no rule out there that, you know, it's not like Twilight or anything where they can't go and be like, vampires exist and tell the world, or, you know, True Blood did the same thing or whatever. But, like, they've been kept rather secretive, so it's not like Elijah's going to go on a TV show where somebody could recognize him and then 20 years later see him as the same age, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they put that shit on the internet now, he'd be fucked.
Yeah, right. And you know what? We mentioned True Blood before. That was probably the thing that roped me into that series. Was like, you know, vampires are real. If they came out, the world knows about them. And I was like, all right, this is a really interesting premise.
It was. But
that's
the book
what roped
did it
me.
better. And I would like to note that you could say that about anything, but I disagree. I personally have not read them, but from everything that I've heard, the Vampire Diaries TV show is 1,000 times better than the books. So.
Yeah, I heard the writing is Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight level, not that great.
Yep. So.
Also, Elena's personality in the books, from what I hear, makes me want to shank people.
Yeah, and the originals family didn't quite exist at the level in the books that they do here. I believe it was Klaus and maybe one other of them. Like the whole, like I said, I didn't read them, but the whole originals family did not exist, and they did not last very long either. They were dispatched rather quickly in the books.
Right.
So I'm glad that they stuck around as long as they did and actually have spun off into their own show. But yeah the Klaus, I mean, the Cammy Elijah Trivial Pursuit thing was amazing.
I loved that. I thought it was so funny because, you know, she's just like, I can't believe you know all this shit. And she's so drunk and he's just sitting there.
What is the name of Roy Rogers' horse? You know, it's like...
The fact that he went through every one of them, and I was just like waiting, like when does she find the answer? The question he can't answer.
Right.
I mean... Before he actually started answering the questions, it was like, she's like, come on, we're going to play these games. It's going to be fun. It's whatever. And he's like, no, I refuse. And then soon as she went to the personal question, he gave the answer. And then it started. And I was like, I knew that would happen. Good on you, Cammy. You knew exactly what to do.
I mean, she is a psychiatrist.
Exactly.
So,
Yep.
You know, it just shows how manipulative she can actually be.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
You know, so
when she applies her, trade.
And that's what has me a little worried about her having knowledge about hope. So.
I mean, if it's compelled away by an original vampire,
it can still come back.
It can come back if she were to walk over the line at Mystic Falls. But hey, guess what? That's not there anymore.
That's true. That's true. Spoilers for those of you that have not caught up on the Vampire Diaries yet. But yes.
If you're not watching the Vampire Diaries at the same time as the originals, you're doing it wrong.
I mean, there haven't nearly been as many tie-ins back and forth this season as there were last season. Last season, they were running pretty damn well parallel.
They were.
And, we had characters jumping back and forth between both shows. We haven't seen that at all this season. I'd like to at least slip one in there somewhere if they could, but by no means is it required. And I like the fact that they're not pigeonholing themselves into forcing it on us.
Davina did slide out Michael before the other side decided to disappear. Yeah. So there was that tiny little connection right there if you were paying attention.
Right.
We'll probably get
not
more.
only that, but it was also
when Esther came around.
It was also Finn and Cole. Like, we knew about Finn, but we didn't know about Cole.
No.
Cole was the surprise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll probably get more crossovers and the such, the like when Vampire Diaries comes back.
Yeah, which is tonight, actually. It came back.
Oh, it is tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We are recording this on Thursday night, so Vampire Diaries did in fact come back tonight, and we will be doing our live podcast on Monday. So for those of you that also watch Vampire Diaries, make sure to tune in live for that. If not, you can check it out here on the rest of our YouTube channel. Anyway, for next week's episode, the episode is called Brotherhood of the Damned. The theme is families who you fight for. And in it, armed with more power than ever, Vincent creates an elaborate spell that allows him to take the upper hand and trap his brothers Klaus and Elijah. Dun dun dun.
We've been calling Vincent Finn Vincent is his
Vincent is the vessel.
He is
Yeah.
Stop confusing me.
Yeah, it's a little confusing. Stop confusing. Realizing that Caleb, which is also Cole,
Gotcha.
is also in trouble, Davina has no choice but to team up with the originals to help. After the deadly events in the previous episode, Marcel must try to calm his volatile pack of suffering vampires while remembering his days as a soldier during World War I, when his leadership skills were equally brought to the test. So we're going to get some more Marcel flashbacks, which are really awesome. In World War I era as well. That's going to be awesome. And finally, Haley finds herself conflicted when she learns that she and Jackson must participate in extreme and unconventional rituals prior to their wedding, which will put them both in a dangerous position.
So what's going to happen is the same thing that happens with the Gemini Coven, with the twins. They're going to, together and make one person so that everything can be fixed.
See, when they say extreme and unconventional rituals, I instantly just thought of the Kama Sutra.
So did I. And what cemented extreme and unconventional rituals, I was like, that sounds weird. And then which will put them both in a dangerous position. And I was just like, yep, that all illusion shattered.
I read this really awkward
You didn't see my
article
face, right?
today,
I was gonna come up with a random position, but good taste prevailed.
As far as positions go, because this is where I was going, I read an article today that there's a certain position that snaps things and breaks things, and it's, a dangerous position for men. And
The fact that my wife is talking about this terrifies me right now.
That's why I said it was an awkward article to read.
Awkward article to hear about secondhand.
I'll grab it right now.
Whoa. We are not grabbing anything live on this show.
My dearest.
I was waiting for that entire conversation to just go downhill.
All the frames are messed up now.
Put your camera back on, honey.
I was waiting for it. I'm like, this conversation is just on a downward spiral. Something's gonna get sad.
Oh, damn it. Cleo in chat, break the dick position.
Break the dick position.
Thank you, Cleo. That's exactly this.
Where can the people find you and your need to grab things?
Oh my god.
I can't. Why do I even bother with you guys sometimes? I just can't.
I can't read right now.
You can find her at LadyVenom24 on Twitter.
Mike, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Philodrin.
Heather, where can people
Online.
find you? You can find online. Online.
Crinixia.
We've killed her. We've killed her.
Oh, I'm good. I'm completely.
They're all dead.
I'm zoned. I'm good.
They're all dead. We've killed them all. Hopefully you guys have vampire blood in your system. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do. You're welcome, Cleo.
Thank you.
We will find out next week if these dead people are on the show, if they did in fact have vampire blood in their system or not,
Oh
and
my God.
if they decided to go through with their transition. Until next week. Oh, well, getting ahead of myself. You can find us all on Twitter, Facebook, Gmail, G+, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Yeah, just
I was waiting for something clever, and then I'm just like, no, take the high road and just go.
end it.
That's what I did.
End it
End it now while we're ahead.